Hi my friends, welcome to the Upcycled Design Lab. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my full booth tour, including all of my projects that I'm going to be selling and some of the tips and projects for making displays that I've used in my past craft shows. If you've been watching me for a while, you might have noticed that I haven't put out a video in several weeks. And in case you missed the notification, I did break my hand about 4 weeks ago. So I have about 2 weeks left, and then hopefully I will be back after a little physical therapy, and I'll be crafting and making more videos, hopefully very soon. I've missed you guys, but I also wanted to give a shout out to everybody who did see the post where I let you know that I had broken my arm. And thank you for all the well wishes. I really appreciate your support, and hopefully you're watching some of my older videos now just to keep my channel going. I did want to mention that it is kind of difficult. I do have my fingers, but I'm not great at the fine motor skills, so hopefully I'll be able to hold the camera okay for this video, but I'm also not going to be doing a lot of editing, so my apologies in advance if this quality isn't quite as good as I normally put out, and you might have to put up with a few ums and ahs. I did want to also give a special thank you to Stacy and Julie. Thank you for your well wishes and your get well cards and emails. I really appreciate it. Before I get started, I did want to mention that I do have full tutorials for almost everything that I'm going to show you in the booth here today, and you can find those at the Upcycled on my here I go. You can find those on my Upcycled Design Lab channel. If you are having trouble finding a specific video, just drop a comment to me and I will find the link for you and send it to you. So if you haven't seen my booth before, I do divide it into 4 different departments. So I have some wire and bead insects that I make that are in a small area. Then I've got my Christmas department, jewelry department, and I also have a new area where I've recycled a lot of denim scraps. So I'm going to move to the front of my booth and get started showing you some of my projects. So this is the front corner of one of my tables, and this is my insect area. And as I mentioned, these are made from beads that are made from aluminum cans. And then the wings on the dragonflies and the butterflies are also made from the aluminum drink cans. And then they're just put together with some jewelry wire. And I've sold these for the last couple of years, and this area has done pretty well. They're one of my best sellers, I would say. And you can use them just to set on your shelf. I think they're kind of cute as little plant charms, and you can even use some of them as Christmas tree ornaments. So they come in 7 varieties, and most of them have 2 sizes. So right here I've got a large and small ant population here. My little guy's falling on his face. They're a little tricky to stand up with the price tags on them. Then I've got 2 sizes of bumblebees, 2 sizes of ladybugs, and the large ladybugs are actually made from a bottle cap, and then the head is made from the aluminum cans, and the small ladybugs are made from the aluminum cans. Then I've got my caterpillars in a couple of different sizes, and the grasshopper just comes in one size, but he was a fun little creation to make. Let's see, who am I forgetting? I guess that brings us to the dragonflies. So there's a dragonfly in a large size, And then I've got a dragonfly that's a little smaller, maybe hard to tell that they're different sizes. Here's a large and small dragonfly. And a lot of you told me that my dragonflies shouldn't have antennae, so I fixed the larger ones and then I designed the smaller ones and made them incorrectly all over again. So they're a little bit different. And then I have the butterflies in a couple of different sizes. So here's the large butterfly and the little smaller version of the butterfly. And before we leave this section, I just wanted to make a comment about a couple of fixtures that I use. So my tablecloths are actually drop cloths that I got at Harbor Freight, and you can get them in a lot of different sizes, but I think they were about $10 a piece, and I just like the neutral color. They're nice and heavy, so they don't wrinkle and they don't show a lot of dirt and wrinkles. So for me, they're the perfect choice and a lot cheaper than a tablecloth choice would have been. And the other thing that I really like to use in my booths is tin cans and just raw wood for shelving. You can see I don't even have the right size shelf here, but I just kind of think it's fun to stack them and have a little bit of different height even on the shelves themselves. Shelves themselves, that's a funny thing to say. So I've used the tin cans. You can paint them. They're really versatile. You can get, find different sizes for different heights, and you can paint the wood and the cans or leave them just in their raw state. And they make really great additions to your booth if you're looking for a shelf to take advantage of a little more height in your display. So I'm going to swing around the corner here into my Christmas area. Let me see if I can show you the whole thing. So it's quite a bit bigger. This is 3 sections of the table, and the insects only take up 1/4. So this is 3/4 of one of the tables. And my first project here, this light's a little bit much. So this first section here is my plastic water bottle hummingbirds, and they can just sit on a shelf, or I've got a couple of them in the tree here as well. I found this tree at Dollar Tree, of all things, and it's a 4-foot tree and it was only $6, so that was quite a bargain. My next project over here is my aluminum can ornament sets, and they're made out of, sorry, I can't hold the camera very still. Let me try. Okay, here we go. So they're made out of the different parts of the aluminum can. So these are all pull tabs. This ornament is made from the rounded bottom portion of the can, and this one is made using the rim of the can, and then I had some old wrapping paper and I put some resin in there to finish off the ornament set. So I have a couple of different designs. And then I also have my jumbo Christmas words that are made from rolled magazine paper and then just shaped into the different Christmas words. I think the peace is my favorite, but the joy is nice too. And then these have sold pretty well as also. I've made several of these Christmas wreaths from an old bed spring and some tin cans to make the decorative portion of the wreath. And so those are sort of a rustic Christmas look. And then I have my little cola can reindeer, which are probably my favorite thing in this section. They actually are pretty heavy. They each take about 9 cans to make, so they're nice and solid. And then the little Christmas balls on their antlers are made from candy wrappers, and they're also made from put together with the jewelry wire. So the other thing I wanted to show you in this area is my pet fencing, and this is the magic that allows me to actually have the different departments and shapes in my booth. And you can see where I've hung up the ornaments and some of the insects in the other section. So this metal wire fence that you can get in a lot of different sizes. The fence that I have is 2-foot by 2-foot panels, and they just swing on 360-degree hinges, so you can shape the fence pretty much any way you want to in 2-foot sections. So I really love this, and it also supports my poster board, which adds another foot to my display. And if you put lightweight things on there, you can hang on the poster board as well. So I think that I used 2.5 sections or 2.5 pieces of the poster board because they're 4 feet by 3 feet. And the fence itself comes in 8 sections that are 2 by 2, but you can also get other heights and probably other dimensions if you were wanting to make a slightly taller booth or something. But the fence folds really flat, the poster boards fold really flat. They're probably a little more time consuming to set up than a lot of booth displays maybe, but they are very compact to travel, and I really like the versatility of them. So some other fixtures that I have for my booth, I have this 3-panel backdrop, and it was fairly inexpensive. I think it was made so that you just put it up once and kind of left it there as a room divider or something. But so it's a little tricky to set up, but it is very lightweight and very compact for traveling and packing. The one thing I will say, if you're putting anything together with like a Phillips screwdriver, I would try to substitute out those screws for a hex head screw so that you can use more of a ratchet to put the screws together. These screws are really, really hard to put together, and there was no way I could do it with 1.5 hands. So I swapped out all of the screws for hex head screws, and I'm going to use the ratchet screwdriver to put them together, and I am able to do that with my limitations. So that's just a tip for you. If you are assembling anything with screws and you have to put it together and take it apart, I would just swap out the Phillips head screws for hex head screws if you can. The other thing I have here is my rolling cart, and it can be an investment to have a good heavy Rubbermaid kind of cart. We were lucky that we just kind of had this one, and we put some wood on the top so it's a little bit taller, and I've got a nice level top here. But I really like it because I can use it as my cash register stand. I can move it in and around in the booth so that I can sort of adjust to the flow of traffic of people that are coming through. And then it's got, I have a little extra few things displayed on the side of it. It's got a lot of storage space back here. It's very cluttered right now, but you can put personal items, your water, or your purse and different things back in the back side here. And then I just have it wrapped with some fabric that needs some washing and ironing, but it's just clipped around the edge to kind of finish off the front of the cart. So, and the other thing that it's great for is hauling stuff in and out of the venue when you are loading in and loading out. So if it's in your budget, I've really loved this item. I'm just so thankful that we had it, and I've just always had it and used it in my booth. The last thing here is if you have a logo or banner, It can be a little bit expensive to have somebody print one professionally for you. So in a pinch, if you have some software that you can enlarge your logo with, you can use printable fabric and just piece together a logo. It's not perfect, but it's a nice larger size, and it works for now until I want to invest in another banner. All right, that brings us to the other side of my booth and a new table and my jewelry section, which is by far my most profitable section. And people spend a lot of money in this area. I have a few new things this year. These are some bracelet and earring sets that are made from, plastic water bottles. So you can make beads using plastic water bottles and color them. So that is that section. I've also got a set of earrings and bracelets that are made from beads that are made from the beer and soda cans, similar to the insects that I showed you in the other section. Over here I've got some more aluminum can jewelry. These are more just different beads, some made with the aluminum side rolled out and then the color is added with paint or alcohol ink, and some of them, like this little Coca-Cola version, are rolled with the printed side out. So that's one technique for making earrings. You can also do an embossed version using the flat aluminum side of the can. So that's another technique. And then most recently I've just made these fun little punched disc shapes and using the printed side of the can. So you get a lot of fun colors that way, and I made some different lengths and sort of different shapes. I hate the way it sounds when I say shapes. I'm gonna have to find a different word. The SP sounds really funny. All right, that was just random. Then over here I've got more earrings made using the aluminum cans. These are made from the rim of the can again, and then they're just wrapped. This is wrapped with some cording. These other designs are wrapped with embroidery thread. And you can cut the can rim into different pieces and then put them back together to make these different shapes. There I go with the shapes again. So you can use different parts of the rim and do a lot of different designs. So it's kind of a fun medium to work with for me. And I have a few of these paper bead earrings left. This was a catalog or magazine that had a lot of recipes in it, and it had some really pretty colors in the print. So I have a few earrings made out of the paper. Up here I have some accent mirrors, and you can see these are made using the printed side of aluminum cans. There's just a lot of really fun colors if you look around. And then I've also got some mirrors made out of the tin cans. So I've also made earrings out of the tin cans, and I've got a few different versions here. These have sort of patterns and prints added to them using water slide paper or tattoo paper. I have an actual engraving machine, and I engraved a few earrings too, but you really can't tell the difference. So if you don't have an engraving machine, you can get the same effect using water slide paper. And I've also tried using my little letter stamps on some of them to add some words. And my original version of the tin can earrings were just shaped with very simple tools. I used some wood blocks to fold them down the center These are just sort of a teardrop shape that I kind of coiled up using some needle nose pliers. These look kind of like leaves, but they were just made by hammering a flathead screwdriver down the middle and then kind of along the sides to make the veins that made these look a little bit like leaves. Leaves. Some of the words I say just sound so funny to me. And you know, normally I'd cut that out, but today you're just gonna have to put up with it. Sorry. So these were the original designs that I made, and then I added some of the other embellishments to these earrings, but they've done really well at the craft shows as well. Over here I have some fused bottle glass earrings and also some pendants down here. And if you've ever been interested in fusing glass, you can get started pretty affordably. I keep dropping things. Pretty affordably with a microwave kiln, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just fuse small pieces of glass using this kiln in your microwave. And I've been able to do some pretty fun little things with it. It is a pretty small surface, so you can't do anything really huge, but you can mix colors and melt them. And this one, I don't know if you can see it, but you can even make impressions in the glass. And then I put some little metal rings in here and just kind of sandwiched them between two pieces of glass. This one's kind of got a heart-shaped impression. So there's just a lot of fun things that you can do with the little microwave kiln. These are another really good seller for me. They're my watch face earrings. And they're just kind of fun to pair up into mismatched sets that make the pairs of earrings. It's a theme. I'm going to drop everything. This year I actually put resin on them. Before, when I had made them, I always just used Mod Podge, but I think you can see they're just a lot shinier, and I think they're going to be a lot sturdier. So I'm really happy with that little upgrade that I made to these earrings. And then I did want to also mention the paint stick little hangers that I made to hang all of these earrings on. There's a tutorial on that you can find on my channel, and they're just made with paint sticks, popsicle sticks, and some clothespins, so they're really affordable to make. And then if you want to hang stuff, you can use little wooden skewers. So all really affordable things, and you can see that I've used them throughout my booth, particularly with all of the jewelry stuff that I've made. Down here I have some more watch part jewelry. I'm using just the watch part casings to make little dioramas in some pendants for necklaces. And I just had fun with this project. In this one I used some glitter. These are just some watch parts. You can make them so that you just put a personalized photo in them. And here I used the buckle from the watch band as part of the design. And then to display these are just displayed on cassette case, jewel cases. Oops, I'm not in the right place. And what I really like about this is it's super simple and really affordable to make. It's just the jewel case and a piece of felt with adhesive on the back. And so you can display your earrings or necklaces either standing or flat, and it just adds a little more surface interest to your display. Over here I've got a few more earrings displayed, and these little displays are made from popsicle sticks and the aluminum can base here, and then I just put a little twine on them to make them sort of blend in with the colors of my booth, but I like that as just another fun way to display some of your earrings and jewelry. And then I made a similar item using cardboard and paper tubes and more aluminum cans for the top. And for this, I just have my memory wire bracelets displayed on this. And these are made out of the aluminum can beads also. And the last little item here is some more fused glass jewelry. And these little mirror displays are again made with cardboard, and they have little bottle cap feet. And I just think the glass looks really nice on the mirrors for the display. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about fusing glass, I have a lot of videos, tutorials, but I also made a masterclass video that's over 2 hours long that just teaches all of the projects that I've made and a lot of troubleshooting and everything I've learned about using my microwave kiln. So you can check that out on my channel if you're interested. And that brings us to the last section, which is my denim section. And up on the top here on my poster boards, I've got some silly little headbands that I made just using the felled portion of the denim jeans, this felled seam, and I left all the raw edges just because I thought that was kind of fun. I also have some hairpins. They aren't made from denim, they're actually the aluminum can beads again, but I thought they fit in this section better than anywhere else. Can you hear our dogs? They do this every day. They're inside and I can hear them in the garage. Again, not going to bother cutting that out for you, just going to roll with it. So I have some frayed denim earrings here as well. I made some notebook covers for some large notebooks and some small notebooks, and the large notebooks all have functioning pockets, so that's kind of a fun little thing. And the smaller notebooks, I just did some kind of faux stitching on the pieces using my paint pens, which are really fun. I also made some bookmarks, and these have the images transferred using Mod Podge transfer method, which you can also find that tutorial on my channel if you're interested, but this just sort of made a fun little item with the frayed edges and some denim beads on it. And the last item I have are these pens that are just sort of fun. They're sort of a combination of all the beads I make. So there's paper beads, there's beads made from paper clips, plastic bottle beads, aluminum can beads. I've made beads with thread, and you can find all of those tutorials on my channel as well. So the last couple things I wanted to talk about were a few more fixture kind of things, and this is the simplest thing you can do. This is just the plastic case from a cassette tape, and it's perfect when you open it up, if you can do it with one hand, and you open it up and it will hold your business cards whether they're laying down or standing up. And you can see that I have a few different spots where I put business cards, and that's just the perfect size to hold them. I also have a lot of these little clip-on lights. They're really lightweight and just easy to clip wherever you want, and then just kind of aim them. So I have one over here too. Where'd it go? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. The light is a little blinding in here right now. So they were about $10, and they were a great little purchase that I got at Walmart. What else? Oh, the signage that I have, all of my frames are from Dollar Tree, and I just use these plastic. I can't get anything in the frame. Hold on, bear with me. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know. They're the plastic frames that just stand up on their own. And the other thing that I like about these, because I'm using the poster board, I can also use them and just hang them over the back edge of my board. So they look nice and uniform. And I just used regular printer paper, and I dyed it or stained it with some coffee, just so that it wasn't bright white and it kind of matches my drop cloth tablecloths. And the last thing is table risers, and you can buy them in all different heights and sizes. I don't even have ones that I've purchased. I just use these wooden blocks, and so it only adds about 2.5 inches, but if you think about just getting 2.5 inches closer to eye height, it can make a difference. So you can certainly go higher than that, and you can buy them and they would stack together and be a little bit smaller, but I do recommend them. I think that they do make a difference. So that concludes my 2025 craft booth tour. If you happen to be in the Santa Fe area, I will be at the Recycle Santa Fe Art Festival along with 100 other artists that are selling their wares. And one of those other artists is actually my sister. The dates are November 14th, 15th, and 16th. And if you want to stop by and say hello, I would love to meet you. Also, if you're having any trouble finding any of the tutorials that you're looking for, be sure to drop me a comment and I will send you the direct link to the appropriate tutorial. If you haven't already clicked that subscribe button and joined my YouTube community, I would love for you to do that. You can also check the description box for a place to sign up to receive the Upcycled Design Lab newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.